We got 25 minutes. We got to go.
Hey,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It'll be that time again, folks. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Super excited to have you all with us. If this is the first time that you are with us with Say That channel, we just want to say welcome. We're happy to have you here. And we are all about the ugly come up of entrepreneurship and business owning. So we all know that you've heard these stories of people who start from nothing, right? And then they have massive success. But what happens in the middle? What happens during the ugly come up? Well, we are here for it. What are the pitfalls you need to navigate around? What's the mindset you need to have? All of those things. We are here to go through all of that with you guys. And here's the deal. We have 25 minutes to answer the topic of the day. And when we have guests, if we run out of time, oh, it really sucks. But if you're one of our Patreon members, you can catch us in overtime where you can get the real juice, because that's where that happens, on overtime. And I'm really excited for today's show, because we do, in fact, have a guest.
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's jump into today's question, and then we could bring our guest forward. Today, the question is,
can you still make money in today's real estate market?
Because the way they
can you, though?
Talking, I don't know.
So, I mean, really. So we're really excited because it's not just Winston and I who are going to be answering the question for today. We have an amazing guest with us. She is a mortgage broker, a real estate investor, entrepreneur of all trades. But what I love most about her is her faith and inspirational message that she gives to other people, because that is the thing that drives her to help us all in the market that she loves so much. So please, everybody help me welcome Dominique Vitalis.
Welcome to the show.
There you are. Awesome. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
So please tell everybody, people who don't know you, aren't familiar with you, please tell us how you got into the business of real estate.
Yes. Well, I love real estate. I believe in passive income. I'm a little lazy at times, so I like the idea of my money working for me when I don't have to think about it. And I like generational wealth. I want to be able to live property or leave properties to my kids and my family. I think that's a good source of investment in just legacy.
That is awesome.
That is a big deal.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it as succinctly as that, but like, I think that ticks off a lot of people's like wants in life, right? Mm-hmm. Leaving a legacy, have passive income, right? We've all heard, I mean, I don't know, all of us who at least have been in business, that's like the goal and the dream, right? That you can walk away from the business and it'll still work, right? Even though you're not necessarily working it. So that passive income stream is important. Well, this is awesome. So obviously you are a great person to answer today's question. How are you feeling about it? Can you still make money in today's real estate market?
Yes, it's tough. It's tougher now, but it's similar to investing in stocks. You know, it's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. So it depends on your goal. You know, if you are someone who wants to buy a property and you want to have it for the next 10 years, you're gonna get your return on investment in 10 years. You know, it's expensive right now, but the home will appreciate between 3 to 5% every year. So you'll get your return. If you are someone who's looking to do a flip like I was doing, where you buy a property that maybe needs some TLC, you add some value to it, and then you sell it at a higher cost, then yes, absolutely, as long as the numbers work. So there's absolutely, I mean, investors are buying now. I know, you know, my realtor friends, they say, you know, it's tough right now, especially for first-time home buyers. But investors are buying, you know, they're trying to buy, builders are trying to build, you know, supply is low right now. That's why the housing prices are high. So investors are trying to take the time to build, to increase the supply, to then level out the pricing of homes. So it's a lot happening. It's a lot happening in the market, but short answer, abso-freaking-lutely.
So,
I also love the quote, and I just quoted it right there.
okay,
So
yeah.
people can see it later.
So to get a little deeper into this, just because having some, I guess, background myself in this, what would you say, as from the perspective of an investor, is the value? Because you mentioned about getting some properties, waiting a couple of years and sitting on it. How would you be, how would you be looking to, is that both sides of investment in a sense? Because on that first side, are you talking about buying something and then Airbnb it for a period of time, or you're looking for, short-term rentals, or you mentioned reselling only if you were to do like a rehab or maybe gut reno. But
Mhm.
how are you looking at that as a long-term, I guess, investment if you're looking at just the property value going up?
No, that's a good question. So the strategy I was referring to is like a buy and hold. So you
Okay.
buy a property, and with the idea of possibly renting it out for the next
Okay.
several years, and that's a part of your portfolio. You buy and hold that, and then
Okay.
again, you'll receive your return on investment not only because of the rental income, but again, if you decide to sell it in the next 10 years, use that cash to buy something else, do a 1035 exchange.
Yeah, and put that
We're
property.
we're good. We're good. So that's what I was referring to. And then there's also
Wait, pause.
oh, sorry.
What is a 1035 exchange?
Yes, good question. So that's when you can take the money out of take the money, you sell a property, you take that money. If you use that money to buy another property, you do not have to pay taxes. So people like that idea because taxes on property is crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
So you can avoid that once you put that back into property. I think within the next 90 days or something like that. You can talk
Right.
to
It's 90 days. No, it's 90 days.
90 days. Yeah. So that's a 1035 exchange. Good question. The other I guess strategy that I like is the rehab. But with that, you need a lot of good people on your team. One, a good realtor. You need a good contractor, good real estate attorneys, all that good stuff. But that's when you buy the property, and that's a short term. That's short term. You buy the property, you put the value in, and then you sell it within the next 3 to 6 months. Winston, you mentioned Airbnb, which is like crazy nowadays, with the short-term rentals. I don't run one, but I know that people like to do it because you get more return on your investment faster. Just
Yeah, the
because.
price, you can obviously charge more price point. Yeah, because you rent it as opposed
Yes.
to long
It's a
term.
lot of upkeep though. That's not passive for me. That's active because there's nothing passive about that. It's work. You got to go in after that's not my passive income, but it works. It works for a lot of people.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good way of looking at it as well.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that. I know some people get like managers and things like that to like handle that, to your point, because I want to do less. I want to walk away from it.
Facts.
So I'm curious, right? So like if there's the investment side of this, and then there's, to your point, the buy and hold. And I'm thinking of two things, because you definitely want a buy and hold, but you talked about a portfolio. So at some point you're going to want more than one buy and hold. So you won't be able to do the 1053 exchange always, because then you're going to have to like buy a new one. And so that makes me think of lending, right? Like a lot of times we hear it all the time that wealthy people are not using their own money. They're using other people's money, right? And so that to me sounds like mortgages. So what does that look like? Because right now, I think most people are pointing to these high interest rates.
Yeah.
And how does that impact, like, what's the mindset someone should have when you go in knowing about this high interest rate and knowing that you want to go in to purchase a property?
Yeah. So I'll talk about it from like if you're someone who just wants to buy a home. And it's tough. It really is tough. Interest rates are high and the prices are high. So the rule of thumb is, when you're working with the lender on the cost, monthly mortgage payments, that your mortgage shouldn't be more than 28% of your gross income.
Yeah.
So So that needs to be your rule of thumb. We don't need people trying to go crazy paying for a mortgage that they can't afford. Yes, you can refinance your mortgage, but I don't. Based on the Fed rate environment, I think they're going to come down at some point. But I think in definitely the next year or two, I think it's just going to level because there's not going to be any rate cuts. I don't foresee. But I think we're good on increasing rates right now. So I would just make, again, it's definitely harder. I know, a lot, what people are doing now is if they have a home, and these are, people who already have homes. So if they have a home in like a more expensive area, maybe like California or probably New York, say their home is valued at about like 800,000, you're seeing a lot of them move to like areas that are not as expensive, just buying the house outright, cash, and just not having a mortgage. Don't have to worry about interest rates really. So you're seeing a lot of that as far as the home buying, but it really is tough for millennials and younger people who want to own homes where the income that I'm making, it's just not adding up. Now, if you want to do a rehab, that's a special kind of loan. It's called hard money. That's what I do. And you essentially work with a hard money lender. Sometimes they're private lenders that, they lend you based on the property, like how much income the property can make. So it's not necessarily, like there's some of them, there's like we don't require any personal documents. Yeah, like no income doc loans, just because we just care about how much money the property can make. Like
that's so interesting. I didn't know that, so I'm like blown away right now.
I'm blown away because I thought hard money lenders were gone. I'm like, wait,
no, we're still here.
I think because I remember when I initially got into real estate, and at that point my mom used to do buy and flips, and I know that was a big part of it. Like we could get the mortgage from the bank, but when it came time to do the rehab, we had to go to a hard money lender to get the money because banks were no longer giving out. I forget the type of loan, but there's a loan that I guess could account for construction, and they no longer were giving those out. So hard money lenders were like all the rage. But I'm talking about like back in, when did I get it? I don't want to date myself, but it's a while back. So to hear you say I'm a hard money lender, I'm like, literally, I've not heard that term in easily a decade.
Yeah.
Wow.
Easily a decade.
Where are all of my investors?
No. So here's my question then. And I know you got into your story a little bit, but I'm fascinated because my 4 year into real estate I actually was going to become a mortgage broker, and somebody just, whatever. It just was, I guess when I got into real estate, it just was easier to become an agent first and went that route, in terms of what the money I was looking to make right away. How did you get into this industry really? Because everyone doesn't just become to me, I know more people will become real estate agents when they think of real estate, as opposed to like what led you to the path of a mortgage lender, and more if there's a difference between that and a hard money lender.
Yeah.
If you could elaborate on that.
So I knew what I didn't want. I did not want to be an agent. I really didn't. I saw them and I said, I know for a fact this ain't it for me. So I knew that. And I knew, I have a background in finance. So I wanted to be in the finance aspect of it. I wanted to know how the numbers work so I can be able to communicate that, initially, especially to first time home buyers who just have no idea what is happening. This is the biggest of a lot of money that I have to put down. Like, please help me understand what I'm doing. So that's kind of what led me. But I've always wanted to be a real estate investor. And after I graduated college, I would always go to these like seminars. Like it was so annoying because you would pay hundreds of dollars to go, and then you get all this information. And at the end of it, you would have to, they would be selling something at the end of it. And I just hated that. I remember feeling so defeated because I was like, oh, you need money to invest in real estate. There's no way like someone like me can do that. Like, I don't understand how we're supposed to do this. So I actually went into finances. I shifted gears, went into finances. And then in 2020, I bought 2 properties in 2020. And it was just back on for me. Like, we're doing this, and I want to know, when I do something, I want to know the ins and outs of it, every single angle. So I knew I didn't want to be a real estate agent, but I am an investor. You know, I'm in finance already. Let me understand the mortgage side of it so I can better help people and help myself.
So just because I don't know if anybody else caught that. How are you able to get 2 homes? Just like, were you saving? Was that a mortgage trick? Like, or not trick, but
Yeah.
what'd you do to finagle the numbers to kind of pull that off? And these were investment properties?
Yes.
So things this was your rehab and resell kind of thing?
One of them was. So
okay.
Yeah, one of them was. So I
first, how did you get the properties? Yeah.
Yeah, so I finessed that hard.
Oh, you did.
So
Okay.
here's what we did.
I'm about to say, yo, she about to put y'all on the game, man. Get your pens and paper out.
So
this is the note-taking part of the interview, guys.
What'd you say?
I'm telling them this is the note-taking part of the interview.
Get you some pen and paper. So so I was saving up. But when I found the house, I actually didn't know how exactly I was gonna pay the down payment as I was looking, but I was still looking because that's how I do things backwards. So I found a house, and after I saw the house, I knew it was mine. Like, I fell in love with it. And I hit up every single family, friend. I told them, look, I'm investing in real estate. This is the numbers. I plan to, sell the property. It was a multi-family. So I was getting rental income. It was 2 other units, and I planned to live in the first unit for like the first 2 years. So I had a whole breakdown of how much money I was going to make annually with the rental income at market price, and then how much the value of the home in the next 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. And I gave that to everyone that I knew that was working for the last 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. Finally found somebody who said, okay, I would give you, we had a whole deal. It was like a contract. This is a family member. We had a contract. We wrote it down. We signed it. And that was my down payment that I found.
Wow.
So that was the first house. The second house, that was a hard money lender, and I didn't come out of pocket. It was no money down. They saw the house. It was a good, that's a whole nother story, because that house ended up almost bankrupt. I almost got bankrupt from the house. But they saw the house. The numbers were good. The market was solid, and I didn't have to put any money down for a hard money. And my realtor actually referred me the lender, because they had a good relationship. It was kind of just like, so.
Oh wait, and when was this?
2020, like right before.
I'm saying, you got to walk us through that. So wait, the pandemic is happening, and you're out buying homes.
So the first property I literally closed, I think it was the beginning of March. I was looking at the closing documents like a couple weeks ago. I think it was right before things just went crazy.
Shut down. Yeah.
Yes. And then the second one, I guess I was out here looking in the middle of COVID. I had masks, we had masks.
Yeah. How do you project out property values?
Great question.
Okay, yeah. You're just doing that on comps of other sales over a period, or is that a finance?
Realtor. Realtor.
Okay.
My realtor, because she knew the area. She was very well versed in the area, and she knew, okay, this is what you plan. And I did cosmetic work on the first home was a lot of cosmetic work. She knew what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to make it nice. But, I'm very bougie. Mm-hmm. So she was like, all right, based on the work you want to put into it. Okay. Based on what I know about this particular market, I can hang my name on it being valued at this. Yeah. So that's where I got those numbers, and they were conservative, but it just gave me some idea.
Okay.
But is that like?
Oh, go ahead, Jay. Sorry. No, go.
Is that typical to work with a hard money lender and then not pay anything down, especially right now? I mean, I get it's important for us to know this story, but I'm curious. Fast forward today, is that possible now?
It is possible. Credit has to be good. Like you just have to check out your credit has to be good. And in that instance, they actually did they just wanted to know who I am. It's my first time working with them. So yes, what a lot of people are doing now is that they find a deal. I always say, if you find a house, like the money will come. Like people will want to be a part of it if you find like a really good deal. So, a lot of people are, if they're especially new investors, they're bringing someone else on that can kind of, you can use their resume as far as investments, because this is my first one type of thing. But they've flipped 5 properties in the last 3 months, so they know what's going on. And they would back it because, they're going to get a percentage of the proceeds from the deal. So, so it's case by case. It's case by, I think I got a little lucky on that just because I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay. And then in order to evaluate what they believe the value will be after the renovation has been completed, all of that is based on the real estate agents who are essentially creating those approximations.
Yes, but the appraisers have to come in and vet that.
Oh, the appraisers.
Yes.
Okay, so there's 2. Okay.
Yes.
So where are you getting money from as a hard money lender? If it's not, are you essentially a private bank? Is that how you've kind of, is that what your business is now?
Yes, essentially. Yeah. So we're a part of an entity that has their own money, and they do this. They lend out money. They lend out money based on the deals that they give. Right. So and what I'm able to do in my position in my particular firm is we work with a few hard money lenders that we can kind of broker it out to based on what we know about each lender. Like this lender likes to work in this area. They're very familiar with this area. They can price this deal out in like 2 days. So we kind of get to know the other lenders, and we broker it out. Does that make sense?
Are you taking commissions? So as a mortgage lender, are you earning commissions on the value of the deal you broker?
We earn commissions based on points. And so the points are based on the case. It's not necessarily based on the value of the property. I mean, I charge the same points for, pretty much, like there's different tiers to it. If a property is valued at this amount, I charge this amount of points. If a property is valued at, and I do it in 3 tiers.
Are points the same as rates? Like a rate?
Yes.
So here's what I mean. So in real estate, if I did a sale, my percentage of the sale value, meaning whatever it sells at, is typically 6%. In some instances, maybe there can be some variances, but traditionally it's 6% across the board.
Yeah.
Whereas with rentals, I'm amortizing the cost of my help, so it's 15% of 15% of your annual income as a rental is what I then charge. Are points that, because I know points from points in terms of banking is an interest term that they use. So it's like there's a certain amount of points that are being charged on an overall value. So if the property is 100,000, let's say you get 5. Is points the same as percent of that, 5% of the mortgage? Or is it not percentage?
No, it's more so is the commission.
So it's a flat fee based on tier.
But that can vary, yes, but that can vary based on the lender. It's not the world of hard money is not as regulated as like
it's real estate. Okay.
Yeah, so people can kind of
make up whatever.
You kind of make it up.
I need to hear more about this.
I mean, okay, so the way I view it though, like even with what you're saying you do with your firm, is that it's almost like I know that there are multiple people who come together to invest in a business, right? And so this to me sounds similar, but it's real estate. You have multiple people who come together to invest in real estate, knowing that the potential that this property could have. Like, what if they had a show like that? What if it was like market sharks or something like that. And people had to come in and present the value of their home that they think it will get. And then you have like sharks bidding on, investing in it, because they can see what it will flip into.
Oh, it's so funny that stuff happens now.
I love it.
There is no TV show, but if you go into foreclosure, trust me, there are a group of people who look at the list of homes and it's the same. Well,
Oh, we could totally make a show for this.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Hey, look, the idea's here. It's going to be timestamped on YouTube forever.
Right.
We came up with the idea.
Okay, I know we're running out of time and we're going to take this into overtime. And
yeah, we've got 2 minutes left according to my
oh, perfect. Okay, so I want to understand now, and then just to kind of not get back to the question, but allude more to it. When you talk about making money, do you work for this company, or is this your own company? Or when it comes to investing, is that your own company that you run?
Yes. So as a real estate investor, I have my own company. As a mortgage lender, I am under an entity.
Okay. So like
Yes.
So talk to us about what is it really like to be out in the marketplace right now, investing and looking at properties, because things look challenging as a whole for people. And you've said it a few times, actually. It's hard. You keep saying it's hard, and people are struggling just even to get homes, for not even to make money off of, just to live in.
Yeah.
So what is it really like for people out there right now? Because I think you get to honestly see both sides. You're in front of them, hearing their concerns as they try to get a home and understand the home purchase is one of the largest purchases you will ever make as an individual. Mm-hmm. So what are people really, is it something you'd be encouraging people to go into on either side? Or should they be renting,
Oh yeah, on either side, absolutely. And I know, when the interest rate kind of world started going crazy, I was like fishing for, grants or, first time home buyer payouts that can just ease up the cost a little bit. So it's difficult, but if you're working with the right people, you have the right team, you have the right realtor, you have the right lender, we can figure out a way that makes sense to you. Just work on credit. Okay. What does that mean? I don't know.
You've been being sandmaned off the main street.
Do I keep talking? I don't know.
No, hold on. We'll take you into overtime because we definitely want to hear it. You can end this one and what you were saying now, but for everyone else, we're going to take the rest of the conversation into overtime after Dominique answers.
So it was amazing having you on, Dominique. I can't wait to get into more of this in overtime. Where can we find you? What's the best place to find you?
I'm very responsive on Instagram. Go follow Instagram. I'll send you some hearts. I'll answer any questions you may have. And if there's something that we need to get detailed into, then I'll provide my email and, we can go from there. But I do want to be a resource to you guys. So thank you.
Very cool.
All right, I'm just putting.
All right, guys. So if you are new to this, perfect. I was just about to say, make sure you go check out the link for Patreon. We're gonna have Dominique join us over there. Make sure, guys, if you haven't done so already, you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And until next time, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that. We'll see you guys in overtime.